All right, level one, I'd like to welcome y'all to my first online class. Today we're going to be learning about 1-point perspective. And I know we went over a little bit about 1-point perspective, but I'm going to get into just a bit of how you might draw a box in 1-point perspective. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're just going to get a plain piece of white paper, or it can be lined paper, whatever you want to do, and get a ruler or some kind of straight edge. It doesn't have to be a ruler if you don't have one, and also get a pencil. So the paper that we're using today is going to be vertical. I know you can't tell because I've zoomed in so much on this paper, but it will be portrait. It's not going to be landscape. So the first thing that you do when you draw a perspective drawing is you are going to draw the horizon line. And as y'all may know, horizon line is the place where the ground and the sky meet. Or it could be where the floor and the wall that leads up to the ceiling meets. So you've got your horizon line. And one little tip that I'll give you to make a straight line when you're using your ruler, you can hold your ruler flush with the edge of your paper here to get a nice, even, straight line. So if your lines end up looking like that, just make sure that you hold your ruler right up to your paper. So the next step in a perspective drawing is to create the vanishing point. So our vanishing point is going to be in the middle, around the middle of the horizon line. It doesn't have to be exactly in the middle of it. And by the way, this horizon line, it's approximately in the middle of the paper. It doesn't have to quite be there. So I'm gonna just label this HL for horizon line. I'm gonna label this VP for vanishing point. So what we're going to do, the first assignment, and I know y'all clicked on the class on the Google Classroom, but the first assignment that you're going to see is boxes in 1-point perspective. We're going to end up doing 2 boxes on the horizon line, 3 boxes above the horizon line, and 3 boxes below the horizon line. So 1-point perspective, another term for 1-point perspective is parallel perspective. All the lines that you're going to end up drawing will be parallel, and the sides of your boxes are going to converge to your vanishing point. Perspective is something that's going to help you guys to create more depth in your drawings. It's going to help with your accuracy with your drawings as you move up into the levels of art. So the first thing that we do after your horizon line and vanishing point is drawn is you're going to end up drawing a square or a rectangle. And then after that, I'll show you what to do. So we're going to start out and we're going to draw a box above the horizon line. So we're just going to start off, we're going to draw just a 2-dimensional square here. And I'm lining up my ruler flush with the edge of my paper right here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to vertically just line it up with the edge of my paper as I'm creating my square. It's going to end up being a rectangle. Okay, so after this, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up lining the side, your right side of your square rectangle, and your left side with the vanishing point. And if you think about it, if you are standing right here looking up at this box, the only part of this box that you're going to see is the bottom, and you're going to see this side right here, the front. You're not going to end up seeing the top. If you're standing way up here, you would see the top. So what we do is we take the corner and we make that converge to this point. And then we line up this ruler here to this corner and we do the same thing. The main thing to know is if your lines converge to that point, you can't be wrong. That's the main thing. And then this, since this line is straight, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to make the back or the bottom of this box. And so this bottom here, because this is parallel, this is straight, we're going to make another line to symbolize the bottom of your square of your box, and it's going to be, this is going to be parallel to this. You can kind of see that. You're not going to see a side right here because this is centered with that vanishing point. You can kind of see that. So eventually, when you guys continue to draw, what you can do, and I don't want you to erase this completely, but you can kind of fade out your converging lines, your orthogonal lines. These lines that are going diagonal to the vanishing points are called orthogonal lines. You can fade these out just a little bit, and you'll see more of your box as you go. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to draw another box to the side of this box. And this box, it's still above the horizon line. We're going to make this a nice tall rectangle. Your boxes, they do not have to look exactly like mine. I just want to see 3 above the horizon line as we're going. Okay. One thing that I would tell y'all when you're drawing your boxes is just to make them all different sizes, just so it'll be a little bit more aesthetically pleasing when you're looking at it. Okay. So this box, if you look at the vanishing point right here, if you look at this box, it's a little bit to the left of your vanishing point. So you will actually see the bottom of your box, and then you're going to see the side of your box. So if you can imagine, you're standing right here, you're looking up at this box, that's what you would actually see. So what we're going to do is we're going to do just like we did for this box. We're going to take the bottoms of the box, the bottom sides, we're going to make those converge to our vanishing point over here. And we're going to line up our corners just right. That's the main thing. You got to think about this. If you're building a box or building a stool or a seat, something like that for somebody else, you want to make sure that this side and this side connect really well with its line, because you don't want it falling apart whenever somebody's trying to sit on it or stand on it. Then what we're going to do, this side that's closest to our vanishing point, not this side, this wouldn't make sense to draw it to it, but this side right here, what you're going to do is you're going to take your top corner, your top right corner, and you're going to make it go to that vanishing point. So I'm going to line this up just right with my vanishing point and make it converge to that vanishing point. Okay, so what we're going to do at this point is you've got to figure out how deep you want your box to be. And I always think about, what is my box going to hold? Is it going to be a refrigerator box? Is it going to be a shoe box? What are you wanting your box to be today? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line my ruler up with the edge of my paper right there. I'm going to make my horizontal line. And then I'm going to do the same thing and find where that horizontal line intersects that orthogonal line. And I'm going to hold my ruler straight. I'm just going to line it up with the edge of my paper, and I'm going to end up making my vertical line right there. So you see there's the edge of that box. And like I said before, you can take your eraser and kind of fade these out, not completely, just fade them out just a little bit. The next box I'm going to do is going to be more of a horizontal long box. So I'll do a little bit of the opposite of what I did before. So I'm going to draw a really nice long rectangular shape here. And then I'm going to take my right corner, my far right corner. I'm going to take that and line that up with my vanishing point here. And then I'm going to take my left corner And I'm going to end up lining that with the vanishing point. And then I'm going to take this little corner right here on the far left top side, and I'm going to do the same thing because it's the closest to your vanishing point right there. All right, now I've got to figure out how much depth I want in my box. And I'm gonna make this thing rather thick. It's gonna be able to hold a whole lot of things. And if you look, this is one way too. You can check yours, double check yours to make sure that your lines are parallel. It should look like a really straight L. It's going to look like a nice right angle in this as well too. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to end up drawing boxes below the horizon line. So when you draw a box below the horizon line, the only part of the box that you may see is the top. And if it's off center of the vanishing point, you're going to see the top and the side of your box. You're not going to end up seeing the bottom. So we're going to line this up with the edge of our paper. And do our very best to make our lines straight. All right, so this one, it's very similar to the first one that I drew. This is almost centered with that vanishing point there. So on this one in particular, you're not going to see a side. You're just going to see the top of this. So we're going to end up taking this side and this side. We're going to line that up with that vanishing point right there. And then we're going to end up figuring out how deep we want our box to be. All right. Okay, and then we're going to end up making a box just to the side. So this one is off center of your vanishing point, so you will actually see the top and the side that's closest to your vanishing point. All right, and so what I'm doing right now is I am taking the right top part of my box and I'm lining it up to my vanishing point right there. And I'm going to end up taking my left side as well over there. And then if you think about it, if you're standing right here and you're looking down, you're going to see that top and you're also going to see this side as well. So I'm going to end up taking this corner and I'm going to line up that far right corner with my vanishing point here. And now we got to figure out the depth of our box. All right, and so right now you've got an upside down and a backwards L right there. The next one we're going to make is a box, a little box off to the side. Right here we'll do the far right of this, and on this one you're also going to see a top and you're going to see a side as well. One thing I'm sure that you can do if you're trying to figure out the sizes of your boxes and varieties, y'all probably have a buku of Amazon boxes, I would think, other things that y'all are ordering while you're at the house. So that would be one thing. You can kind of look and see what you've got at the house if you wanted to observe something. So we're taking the top to the vanishing point, and you can see this side. It looks a little odd if it doesn't have a side, so we're going to take that little corner to our vanishing point. All right. I think I'm going to have a shallow box this time. This may be a shoe box. All right, so this is kind of an unusual situation, but it could happen to you. What would happen, this is just a thought, if you had a box that was exactly centered on your vanishing point? One thing that would occur is you wouldn't be able to draw anything to this vanishing point, and I'll show you why. So what you'll do is you'll do your very best to get a box that is fairly centered with your vanishing point right here. So you're going to make a little line here, and you're going to make a vertical line here. And then you're going to do a horizontal line down here. And you'll end up connecting it there. So one thing that you'll notice with this, even if you try, you can't do anything. It's just kind of stuck hanging out over there. So that, because it's centered, you're not going to have a top, side, bottom, anything like that. So that's one example of a box that's actually on your horizon line. Another example of one that would be on your horizon line that actually would have a side to it, and this is going to be the last box that we draw together on this exercise. You would actually have a box with a front and a side. And of course, the side that you would see is the side closest to your vanishing point. All right, so I'm going to take this corner and take it to the vanishing point, and then this corner here, I'm going to take that to the vanishing point. Okay, and I've got to figure out how deep I want this box to be. All right, and there you have it. So we've got 3 boxes above the horizon line, 2 on, and then 3 below. If you've got a drawing that looks similar to this, you're good to go. You can practice as many times as you want. Thank you so much for viewing.